Aikido Kihon Waza, you have the inward spiral, and then its reverse is your outward spiral. Although commonly done, but not correct, you have these movements where you go in and out horizontally, and then movements where you go up and down. And sometimes they try to get on the center line, so like for example the up and down one, you'll see people get to a biomechanical efficiency. You bring the elbows in, you're going to get more leverage, and then this hand goes like this. Okay. You see that stuff in the Iwama where you're always trying to overpower someone, or Miyamoto, he does that all the time. Chiba Sensei did that all the time, Shibata Sensei. It's clearly you're trying to overpower someone by using more leverage against the person, okay? So an example of that, let's say he does Morote, so two hands, okay? And then, you know, because you're trying to feel powerful and make yourself powerful, you make him stay still, don't push him, and stay in place, squeeze as hard as you can, maybe even lower your center, you know, so he's here like that, and you're like, and then you'll see he will come in, you see, and then they kind of overpower him, you see, to do the technique, okay, make sense? Right. Okay. But that's not Aikido, because I shouldn't be trying to overpower somebody, okay? That's just ego tripartite mind, will to power, and the fear cycle of behavior, okay? Because it's still just a force engine, you see? So if he comes over here, and I grab him, and he's gonna try to anchor his elbow, and do that same leverage. So I'll let you try the shape. Yep. Okay, so and he can't get the engine there. He could move towards it. No. You see? Now it's closer to his center. And now you try it. I'll let you try it again. So he moves. Good. Bring your elbow in when you do it. Try it again. So slow down, I'm not going to resist the first one. Step, bring your elbow to your center, and then, okay? I'm not going to resist. Step, elbow to your center. There you go. Okay, so we do it again. It's not going to happen, okay? Because it's just an engine trying to outpower another engine, okay? Some of the things you notice, though, because people are attracted to it, because we love the delusion of outpowering someone, and then everything will be okay if we could only outpower people. But some of the things you notice is I'm just standing there waiting. There's no kazushi at all at contact. He's got to wait until I get outpowered, you see. So, that's weird. There's no energy really going on. In other words, from a martial perspective, which this tends to be, and people tend to think it is, he's really trying, he's not choreographed, he's not soft, it's a really strong grab. What's he really doing martially? We're just standing there. So, again, he grabs really hard, you see, nothing's gonna happen. I just neutralized everything. It's not till he tries something else that something happens. Do you get it? In other words, if we're just here and I just squeeze him, he's not being assaulted, do you see? He kind of checked my weight, but now it's just squeezing at this point. You see, it's stupid. Okay? It doesn't make martial sense. Also, being grabbed doesn't make martial sense. You shouldn't feel martially accomplished because you can get a leverage going, because the martial question is never let the guy grab you. You shouldn't be where he can grab. So it's not a martial question. It's just the ego tripartite mind satisfaction. It's not Aikido. So let's go into these spirals and look at them a little more closely from the three components, okay? Really, the first component, the physical component, and then the second component, the energetic component. So, what we're going to see at the physical component is actually a superior force engine than that last one. Although it can be strong, it's really not that strong in comparison, okay? It uses small muscle groups, usually the biceps and the deltoids. These are terrible muscles to use in combat, okay? And then we'll also see that the lack of kazushi comes from the fact that it usually only travels through 1 or 2 dimensions, that other handwork, whereas the spirals will travel through 3 dimensions. And that's how you get the center moving and things like that. Okay, so if I have a basketball and you look at these lines that are going across, if I'm moving my arms like this, and pay attention to the equator line here, okay? It just stays where it is, okay? But if I do the inward spiral, you'll see that the equator line starts to go forward. Do you see? Okay, so we're here. And let's say, for example, I get to Ikkyo, do you see? And a lot of people think that this goes like this, you see? And nothing happened to his body. So that would be similar to, I'm here, and I just move it that way. Nothing happens to the equator line. So, but if I do the outward spiral, which isn't just my hand and my elbow staying in the same concentric circle and moving out at my shoulder, but my elbow coming in, you see? And you'll feel the difference. So here, nothing happens to you. I do the outward spiral, and you'll see the center gets touched, gets moved, okay? Obviously, on the inward spiral, you can see that his center gets moved, as opposed to, I'm just make this circle. See? So here's my circle. Inward spiral. And he has a lot of pressure on your shoulder, don't you? Yeah. Okay? No movement on the center. You see? So, and that's because it's traveling in 3 dimensions. If you come here, and I'll address the mechanical weakness of it. Well, you're gonna have to learn how to do this because you don't know this. You kind of just swing your arm in a circle and you catch it. Okay? Just try a couple. There you go. And right here is the weak point because of this reliance on the inner deltoid. He's never going to get there, are you? Try. You see that? And so he's trying go ahead. He's trying the other leverage. Get your elbow closer to your body and try to do this. Or some people stay out there and then they reach across. Go ahead. No. And again, you see the outer deltoid here. You're never going to get there, are you? Try. Maybe try to drop it. You see, he has to do the other leverage stuff. But then again, look at my center. You see? Nothing's happening to me because he's on just a two-dimensional plane at best. Okay? Energetically, if this is in Aikido, correct Aikido, it follows the Silk Road mudra theories, okay? Chris, come so you can see. And it's different from modern Aikido, because modern Aikido looks at things mechanically, superficially, materially. And so they, at best, get biomechanics going. And so they will feel superior leverage by having things attached to your center line, because obviously the more peripheral you are to the center line, the more deltoid, and I already said that's a weak muscle group to use, so they'll try to come near the center line, just as I've described in the previous technique. And that does bring some biomechanical soundness to it, but energetically, it's denying a bunch of stuff from Silk Road culture. So in Silk Road culture, it's not that I move my center to move my hands. I move my hands to move my center is the proper way, okay? And it goes back to the mudra theory, okay? So, and I'll do this kind of in reverse fashion. So I have my lower tanden, and I use hand gestures to move the yang and yin chi that constitute the lower tanden. I don't move my body to move my hands, okay? It's reverse. And so if you are, and what you're trying to do with the yang and yin chi in your lower tanden is spiral rotate them. Now add to that my hands move my lower tanden, therefore my hands must spiral rotate. Therefore, they must travel through the 3 dimensions and not 1 dimension, okay? Making, for example, this technique, here's your ball, and nothing really happens to the ball, okay? Versus, I want elevation, then my hands have to move in an inward spiral that goes up. And that's where we're gonna go, okay? To start though, you have to know how to form Laogong. So I'm going to try to describe it to you. And my best upaic advice is that you just use these tips to get in the ballpark, and then you just struggle and struggle and struggle until you feel something outside of your intention, okay? Because your intention is getting in the way. So some of the things will start with what it's not. It's not a dead hand. It's not relaxed and you're now a wet noodle. It's not that. It's also not this, what people have come to mean as Aikido. That's not it either, okay? It's not finger tension, and it's not forearm tension. So think about that. There shouldn't be tension in your forearm, which there always is if you do that Yoshinkan Aikido hand. There's tension in the forearm. You can see it, okay? So don't flex this. Don't try to flex your fingers, because you'll also flex that forearm to do that, okay? What I would like you to do is instead expand the bones in your hand. What happens to your fingers and what happens to your forearm is irrelevant. So I expand the bones in my hand until I start feeling the fingers flex and the forearm flex. Don't go past that, okay? So try this. I expand the metacarpals, these bones, until I feel the forearm flex. Too much, okay? So I have some parameters, like too little, not expanding the metacarpals, tension, tension, too much, okay? Then the next upaya tip I would like to give you is, if you're doing this right, there'll be a hollowness in here. Like you could put water in there, it would hold there. But I don't want to shape it, do you see? That's what a lot of people make that mistake. They're like, oh, it's like a cup. Well, no, because now your metacarpals are not expanding. Do you guys get it? Okay, so I have to expand the metacarpals, these bones through the hand, without tension here, and I should have a cup shape, okay? The next thing I would like for you to, that's where you should struggle, like get that shape first, okay? Some things that can start to happen that you'll sense is there's like a charge that runs down the middle finger along the sides. I don't want to describe it past that, okay? And you'll have some sense of expansion and extension through that middle finger, okay? This way. It does something to your other hand, the other finger, particularly your index finger, which is also not well understood. But I don't want to make more of it because I don't want you to cosmetically chase it. But when you feel the charge in the middle finger, you'll see that it comes out of alignment with the index finger, which Aikido people don't do. They always make their hands like that. But no, they're not. They're not in alignment. Do you guys see that? So don't feel that you have to keep your fingers all the same. They're not all the same. Particularly that middle finger as it's related to the index finger. Okay? The next thing I'd like you to do, and you can do this on your own time, is after you have the shape, you can start to press that center cup against the other center cup. Let me try it now. Okay. And you kind of open and close, and you have to keep the shape. You got to watch that you're not curling your fingers close. Okay. Keep the shape. Drop all your shoulders. Sit in seiza. Drop all your shoulders. Do your seated drill 1. Release all tension. Straighten your head. It's drill 1 of the Kokyu and Aiki set. So you can feel them almost pushing on each other. You can pull apart. You don't feel it. And after you get good at it, you can feel it from pretty far away. And all we're learning here is how to activate Lao Gong. You can coordinate it with your breath, but you don't need to. So that activated aspect is what you do in your inward spiral and your outward spiral. You never let it go dead. It doesn't go dead. Okay? All right. Let's get to the shapes now. As there's only 2 spirals and there's 3 levels, Jodan, Chudan, and Gedan, those 3 levels are just different points in either of the 2 spirals, okay? So, for example, if I want to go to the lower level of Gedan, I don't pull my hand down like this, I'm in 1 dimension, okay? Is there a way of getting leverage? Yes, but it's mechanical leverage again. So if he is stronger than me and he's lifting up, I can't get that. You'll try your tricks, to get down there, but again, his center's not moving, okay? And more importantly, my center's not moving, okay? So to get to the lower level, you are going to start the outward spiral, the water spiral, okay? And he'll feel a couple things. So for example, you can't push because it's pressing on his center, okay? And once I start it, let's say he's pulling now, do you see? You're gonna change the angle of this pull. So at the physical component, you're gonna change the angle of this pull. So if you look, his elbow is trying to go back this way. You're going to turn his elbow out of position, do you see, as you drop it. So, Lao Gong, boom. And you can see his center gets turned and moved, okay? It's not me going in a circle. It's not me leveraging. Here, boom, I turn my tanzen with my hand shape, boom, moves his whole body. Again, leverage, you see he's just standing still. Till the very end. Start, move his whole body. Okay, let's try that drill. While the hand moves the lower tanden field, what modern Aikido think of your center, this biomechanical point in your body, that is moved by the qua. So my qua doesn't stay here, and then I try to do this shape, because I can't get over there. If I turn my qua, you can see how much more I can move that, okay? Also, we already talked about as the qua releases on one side and presses through on the other side, so too does the shoulder of that same side. So when I'm here like this, it'll release the qua but leave my shoulder here, you get all twisted up. So here in this case he's pushing, in the last case he was pulling. You will release, you see, you release, you move in, and then you move back. Okay? So remember to do that. Don't keep your quads still, don't keep your shoulders locked. This spiral is going back to the energetics and doing what I'm doing on the tanden field. I'm turning it, scooping it, and then over the top, moving it this way. I think you guys are picturing, because their head is here, and you're like just moving now in a circle. Okay? So I'm gonna, just to stay with the ball, I'm gonna change the shape of my arm so don't freak out. Okay? So here's the qua yield and the shoulder yield. Right? I'm gonna come under back this way. You see? I'm gonna come over the top this way. And then I'm moving it this way. This is what I'm doing. Over the top. It's the inside of the arm because of where Lao Gong is facing. That's moving the top. It's not the outside of my arm and I just knock him over. Okay? So you'll look for those things now. Okay? And we can have him pushing again. So he's pushing now. Okay? So, boom. Pull, this way. Don't go here, and here's that circle. Your outer deltoid is going to be here, okay? No. Spin it. Picture here, forget him. Picture what's happening here. Imagine that basketball here. It's inside my body. You can see me scooping it, drawing it on the top. You can see the middle finger on the Lao Gong. Okay, and he becomes irrelevant. Like he feels like nothing. But my mind's not even on him or anything. But I'm feeling all of this stuff. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so again, if you have someone stronger than you, the leverage stuff is not going to work. Okay, so we have two people, and you're grouping, and they're holding me. This is going to be very hard to do, you see. And also, nothing's moving them, okay? What I'm going to do instead is move my lower tanden field the same exact way. There's the quad yield and the shoulder yield. Boom. Move it. Move it. I'll hold more. Lost ground vector. Boom. You can see how hard they're pushing, as I didn't even hold ground vector on the first one, okay? So, boom, move it. Move my tanden. It's not a martial feat. I'm not trying to do a martial feat. Again, a martial feat, I wouldn't be sitting in seiza. I wouldn't let you grab me. It's more of a temptation. You're like, whoa, let me try some leverage stuff. Instead, don't move your tanden. Lao Gong. Oh. You can feel how relaxed. Okay? Totally impossible with the other leverage engine. Not even close to being possible. But here it doesn't really change anything. Okay? Here we go. Try. Okay, so in the technique, it started out at Gedan, but obviously we came up. And in order to come up, you have to pass through the other aspects of the spirals, okay? So if you pay attention, when you came around here, you have to now rotate this back towards yourself. And in there's Chudan, okay? Keep your grip so that you can see what effect it has on his body. So I'm going here, and if I go full Chudan, you can see that his center is moving. It opens up the back more. So, static now. Here's get on. We know that Chudan ends like this, but in this system, Gedan precedes Chudan. Okay? Always. You don't just turn your wrist and go like that. No. So I'm going to go Chudan, or Gedan, into Chudan. And there's the opening to the outside. Gedan, Chudan. Yield, Gedan, Chudan. And you can see how it keeps him moving. We don't go Gedan, enter. He didn't move. Gedan, shoot on. Get on, shoot on. A lot of people do this like this. That's that vertical plane. But I'm turning my Tanden field with my mudra. Try it. And to get to Jodan, I don't have that. So to get to Jodan, you're going to see that I'm going to first pass through Gedan, pass through Chudan, and then Chudan will push up. Okay? So I change you have to look down at me, and my inward spiral is this way. Okay? So I'll pass through all of these things. Keep your grip. We'll add the other hand. Okay? Boom. He's pushing. Push, push, push. He's pushing. If you make it too big, you're going to be in the other places. What's making it big? What you did with your quad and shoulder. So for this one, I do very little with my quad and shoulder. Okay? There's a little yield here, and then this is different. Scooping, reeling his body in. He's pushing, pushing, pushing. Obviously, he's pushing, and your techniques are here. But we're just going to work, turn the tanden. You can push your strength. So I push, turn, rotate, keeps rotating up. It's pushing, rotate. I'm underneath. I'm on the front. I'm on the inside now. A lot of people are so used to this thing. You see? Go like this. But this is incorrect. My elbow's not out there. Okay? He's pushing. Boom. 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 So if camera comes over here. His grip is on the center of my head. If I move my hand to the center of my head, then the weight is on the side of my body. Can you see that? Okay. You put the weight on top of your head. He's pushing again. Boom, boom. And now take note of where that elbow is. So my face is here. I'm not here like this, and over like this in this weird posture. Okay? Pushing. Now I'm turning my tanden. So we could do Hichinage there. Okay? Oh, that's right. Tap that elbow. Pushing, pushing. slow. Turning. Turning. Okay, try it. Okay, so my people here are having that problem. There's a lot of, I think it goes back to this idea, is it's ego tripartite mind. Leverage, hand up. Instead of what I'm saying is, I only have two. Tesabaki, it's really one. Okay, the inward spiral, the outward spiral. I gave all the anatomical reasons for it. I gave the energetic reasons for it. So, but even my people here are having problems like, why should I do Chudan and not go from Gedan to Jodan? Okay, well, when I go here, and you want to go, I'm supposed to go up here, and you can see that second part is just the leverage part. Okay. So he's pushing, and I go here, and just to show the mistake, I go here. And there's not really any action on his tanden, and there's no action on mine. What I'm saying is I'm going to do Gedan, and then the Chudan, and that pushes up. And then here's the elbow exposure for Hijinage. Boom. You could look at his body. I'm going to get more. Do you see? Boom. Boom. His elbows down. If he tries to resist me here, trying to go up, I can't go up because I don't really have a superior leverage except to work my way out of his fingers at best. If he's strong enough, if there's enough friction, I can't even do that. Instead, I'm turning my center. When you do a strong enough Chudan, a lot of times you don't, I would say probably all the time, you don't actually lift the hand. He ends up lifting the hand, okay? So if you pay attention, you see his hand is lifting it. Not me trying to lift my hand. As his balance goes, give a little energy, okay? A lot of energy, give a lot of energy, okay? All right, so as I come around, that energy is being weighted by the Gedan. And as I go to the Chudan, it picks it up. Do you see? So again, lots of energy, okay? Right now, I'm on top of that energy. So I'm going to get out of the way of it with the Chudan, and it comes up on its own. That's different. Don't get the same Kazushi. Don't get the same angle cancellation here. And he's not falling that way. The inertia is not going that way. So lots of energy. This thing goes here. Boom. Okay.